With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. State Senate President Therese Murray says she no longer supports a pending wind energy siting bill. Wind has long been a controversial topic here on Cape Cod, and the bill aims to streamline the siting process for wind turbines here in the Bay State. Those opposed to the bill are concerned about the potential loss of local control for wind projects. The path for a new license for the Barnstable Village news store is now clear. On Monday, the licensing authority met to work on detangling a decades-long mystery attached to the original license holder for the store. Former Nadan president Robert Sherman appeared before the board.
Status of the present corporation or the
It was
premises?
dissolved in the mid-1990s.
It was dissolved in the mid-1990s. So it was operating right up until recently?
No.
Oh.
I haven't been in that business location since 1987.
And that's where we are with this. It's been brought to our attention by the Commonwealth of Mass ABCC that Nadine Inc., who's the licensee, is not in existence. Corporate taxes haven't been paid, meals taxes haven't been paid, although there may have been taxes that were paid that through another name, but we have no record of that. In the spring, we were notified by the ABC that the license was being used illegally, that it was valid only for Nadine Inc., and Nadine Inc. was not, in fact, operating that establishment. The police department picked up the license. We gave the operator notice of what was going on and asked them to demonstrate that they had some legal standing in Nadine Inc. They have not done that. So that today, the purpose of this hearing is to make one last attempt at finding out whether anybody has any standing in resurrecting Nadine Inc. and making it whole again, to the extent that that they would not only have a valid corporation in hand, but at least for the property and the ability to exercise that license. We don't find that ourselves, so that's basically the purpose. And I'm not sure, Mr. Chairman, what your standing is in the present. You say that the corporation was dissolved, so that it no longer exists. No filings have been done, and you no longer have a lease.
Well, just as some background, I was contacted by a Mr. Paul Colville, who was apparently a real estate agent down in Dennis. And he indicated to me that he wanted me to sign the license over to a gentleman by the name of Ferraro, who is the real estate owner of 3220 Main Street. I said, with a lot of apprehension, I don't know what you're talking about. I then spoke with you last December, and you had indicated to me at that time that Mr. Medeiros had filed an application with you as the manager for Naden Enterprises, which is completely false.
Yeah.
I've never even met Mr. Medeiros. I then had a subsequent conversation with Mr. Scally, and I told him the same thing. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of conjecture, a lot of speculation as to what happened, but I don't really know.
Yeah. And it's not our intent at this point to try to unravel that. That may take a long, long time, and there is no point. But
I don't intend to make the corporation whole again.
But with intent of the future, there is only one store in Barnstable Village. It is the desire of the residents of the village that store continue. There is an organization that is that wants to bring it back to the Sherman days, to earlier times when it provided a broader service to the village, a gathering place, something that the residents of the village feel very strongly about returning to. So in order to be able to do that, this was one of the purposes of this hearing, so that we can clear this thing up, get this license revoked, so that it can be reissued.
The board did vote to revoke that license, and new life is currently being breathed into the village store by the company who owns Fancy's Farm Market and Peterson's Farm Market. Further progress is being made in developer Stu Bornstein's plans to build his retirement home on Freezer Point in Barnstable Village. The town's Land Acquisition and Preservation Committee discussed the conservation restriction proposal at its December 5th meeting. Town Attorney Ruth Weil addresses some concerns from the board in terms of the proposed 99-year conservation restriction.
We would have to go, if it's going to be an agreement in perpetuity, we'd have to follow the state rules. That the town doesn't agree to. What are those differences that the town doesn't agree to that have been agreed to for all prior conservation restrictions?
Well, among them is the holding by a third-party entity, which and there are other. I can't, off the top of my head, think of all the problems, but we've had numerous problems with the language that they require the town to abide by. And in various cases we've negotiated it. They've been protracted negotiations. As Ms. Cronin pointed out, this is sort of an unusual situation, and we didn't feel that it was fair or appropriate to subject this restriction to that process.
Well, I would say, the conservation restrictions that we have been looking at going back numerous years have been in perpetuity, and B, it has been the intent of the donor to have it be in perpetuity. So this is, I think, the first time in my memory that this has happened with the town. If you know of any others, I'd like to know of those.
But again, as was pointed out in this discussion, the restrictions you're talking about, which we love to obtain, and I'm a big fan of those conservation restrictions, are usually brought forward by a third-party land trust by applicants who want to put the restriction on their property, want to get the tax benefits of that restriction, et cetera. There's a whole, as you know, a whole scheme involved. Not scheme is not a bad word, but there's a whole hierarchy of issues involved and interests served by those restrictions, all of which are good. That doesn't pertain, I don't believe, to this situation.
Okay.
Steve?
Yeah, I think that 99 years, it's not unusual, it's not uncommon. I mean, the Audubon accepts them. I mean, there's several things that do accept 99 years. The valuation of $100,000, I agree with Jim. I mean, I think as it is, it's fine.
Bornstein's attorney John Kenny says revisions to the restriction proposal will be made.
In response to the other half of you, I mean, I can understand you wanting to see a final document, but I can't finalize it without the term of years and the value. And what I maybe would propose is that I draft it the way that would be acceptable to my client, so that you don't have red line changes. In fact, what I'll do is, you've got the redlined version. I'll email you this clean copy, and then I'll redline changes on this clean copy. And I will put in what would be acceptable, so at least we have a little bit better document to discuss.
The LAPC will again discuss the matter at its January meeting. Communicating your thoughts and ideas for the future of Barnstable will soon be only a click away. Barnstable iForum is an effort to further engage citizens and improve the lines of communication. BarnstableIForum.com is a website that will allow residents to share ideas and input on a variety of town topics. You can sign up at BarnstableIForum.com. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.